Hello, beautiful. How are you doing today? For those of you who witnessed my fall apart yesterday, I am obviously doing much better. Oh no, well, my brain's still not completely working. It wasn't yesterday, it was 2 days ago. And I took the advice of some of you and just skipped a day of my video, and I forgot my book. So, as I was saying, I skipped a day of the 5-day pre-launch videos for pre-launch 5-day. Anyway, my book is officially being launched tomorrow. So I'll tell you a little bit more about this at the end of the video. First of all, I wanted to thank all of you who commented under my fall apart video. I cannot tell you how much it meant to me, how much it was a balm on my heart, how much you made me cry, but in a good way. And it really made me feel like I was supported. And I was amazed at receiving all this. When I woke up after not sleeping, the first thing I did was look, and I just started weeping because of all the love I was receiving. It is not something I'm used to. So thank you, thank you, thank you from all my heart. And what also really touched me was seeing that it's been my idea. I've been telling myself, oh yes, I'm going to build a community online for HSPs and other neurodivergent people so that it's safe and all this. And when I saw what I was receiving after sharing a difficult moment with you, I was so moved knowing that I am actually building a loving, supportive community. And that was a precious, precious gift that you gave me on top of the gift of your support. It was interesting because some of you told me you're not alone. And it was kind of this moment of, right, I keep telling you guys that you're not alone, but I kind of need to be reminded myself that I'm not alone either. So that was really, really, really sweet. So, all that being said, sorry for people who are not already here on the channel, and for you, I'm kind of rambling on. There is still a point and things that I want to share in this video. And I want to go back to what I intended to share 2 days ago, which is to talk about the anxiety of trust for highly sensitive people. I had some ideas, and it was like, oh, interesting. There's kind of an advantage and a disadvantage with trust for highly sensitive people. So this is what I'm going to start with talking about. And after that, I want to give a little bit of context for my fall apart. So, anxiety of trust for highly sensitive people. The kind of interesting thinking is that highly sensitive people, because of everything that we perceive and the fine details of our perception, it tends to lead to a rich inner life. So we are people that typically have I'm not sure I want to qualify it as more, a deep spiritual life, and we're often involved in personal growth and improvement. So because of that, we are kind of more connected with the divine and with the more subtle energies of life, and that is part of our world. From that, we develop this, I think I just said that, my brain is still off, this deeper connection with the divine. And because of that, we naturally have more affinity with it, which means that we tend to know about trusting the things that are greater than us. But as highly sensitive people, and because of the way our brain works, we are also people with a very, very active brain that tends to think a lot. I did a video about that a few months ago. It's one of my favorite, and I'm going to link it. So this intense thinking, some call it overthinking. I like to call it thorough thinking. It is intense, and down the road, after we go through all our paths, it typically yields creative, innovative solution and thinking, and it is something that's a positive thing. The process is not easy, but the results are beneficial, typically. But when it comes to trust, because of that thorough thinking, we are a little bit screwed. And why do I say that? Because overthinking is a form of control, and control is the enemy of surrender, and it means that it's the enemy of trusting. Because trusting means surrendering. And for us, it's very difficult to do, because in order to trust, we have to surrender our true nature, because it is natural for us to think a lot. We are designed as deep thinkers. And in order to trust, we have to give that up. And that's the paradox that means that trust can come with more anxiety for highly sensitive people. And I thought that was kind of an interesting thought that came from my thorough thinking that I wanted to share with you. And, when we think a lot, it means that our mind goes into the how of things. We think, which means we're trying to control the outcome, which means we're the ones who want to determine the how of things are going to happen. I mean, I have these conversations with God or with whatever powers, and it goes like this. Yes, God, I absolutely trust you. But please tell me, how are you going to do it? And what is it that I'm supposed to do? And then we're good. So the context that I wanted to give, a little bit of the backstory, if you will, of why I fall apart now and then, and why the anxiety is pretty high for me. It has to do with 16 months ago, my husband and I separated. We're now divorced. And I came here in Sedona because it's the only place that feels like home for me. But in our separation, there were not a lot of assets and financial security to leave with. And so I moved here, and I had a lot of anxiety about paying for rental, and I was blessed to find some people who supported me. I've been in this house now for 5 months as a house sit. And the thing is, it's about to expire. So when I got here, okay, wait, I'm going to go back. So last summer, once I got here, I decided that I needed to start planning something for myself and probably also keep myself busy because it was a very painful time. And I decided to start my YouTube channel. And I have this playlist that's 100 Days to Change My Life. And then last fall, I had somebody reach out to me who we're just barely connected online. And she wrote to me the following. She started by saying, "This is going to sound whacked out, and I'm a little scared to share it, but I feel it's my responsibility to do so." She said, "I just had a vision, very powerful, and this mage showed up and very emphatically said, 'Tell Annie to write the book.'" And she didn't know all the plans I had about the book, but once I received this, I knew that it was time. And if you want to know a little bit more about that story, it's in my book. So that's when, 12 months ago, I just put everything aside and said, my book must be done. I already knew it was a calling. I was kind of waiting for something to tell me when it was time to do it. And that was it for me. And I dedicated myself like a divinely possessed woman on a mission for the past 12 months. And so now that it's done, I am facing a lot of things that bring anxiety. First, I have this absolute physical, mental, and kind of spiritual exhaustion because I pushed my limit. I didn't do too much self-care. I was aware of it, knowing that I'd get to it once it was done, which I thought would be like in June. 2, and I actually made a video about that last summer, even before I started this, is that I have this fear, like a lot of people talk about the fear of success. There is that because I don't know who I am if I am not struggling and if things actually work out for me, because my entire life has been struggle and no financial security. And so I am facing this unknown about myself. And everything that I've identified with in the past has to die. And these parts of me that have to disappear and be replaced, well, they're fighting for their life, literally, because where I want to go, this is no longer who I am going to identify with. So this is something that's playing in the background. A lot of it is subconscious, but it's also, if you're aware and just paying attention, it's something that you can really feel. 3, because I follow the calling and I decided to trust and dedicate all my time to it. Now I am coming to the end of that. What it brings up is, okay, so I had faith, but was my faith right? And what if I was wrong? It's like, this is when the rubber is going to meet the road, and I'm going to see if I was right to throw myself into this endeavor and to doing this book, which I feel is very important for the world and is my mission. It's a big word, but it actually feels like that. So I'm actually facing this, and this brings up quite a bit of fear, because it's like, holy shit, what if I was wrong? So my next point is, well, I have dedicated myself and pushed myself right to the edge of having a place to live for just a few weeks. Actually, I was supposed to be out in 2 weeks, and because my book launch came months later than I thought, the owner generously, even though he's coming back, said, you can stay here a little while longer while things unfold. So this is where I'm at now. And this is the big part of the anxiety. So the fall apart is not just because I'm exhausted and I gave my all. It's also about the, and now what? Now, was I right to trust this? Now what happens to me? Now, where do I live? How can I afford a roof over my head? And so this is what this moment is bringing up in my life. But I've got to say that most of me, 90%, actually believes it's all going to be okay. Like, it's going to be good. Not just I'm going to be okay, it's going to be great. And the things that I imagine for myself are about to happen, and this is my time in my life. But these fears exist, they are there, and they have a loud voice. It's like my trust is kind of this quiet thing that sits. But these voices of fear, they've had the floor for most of my life, so they're really loud and they're really used to taking front stage. So I have to deal with them. So that's what's been going on. And what do I plan to do about this? Well, I'm really going long here. Okay, so what's my plan? What do I plan to do about it? Well, I decided my birthday is in about a month, and I decided that for the next month, I am actually going to take things easier, take care of myself, listen to guidance to see what are the fewer actions that I need to take, instead of trying to do everything that the world of publishing and new authors and all that tell you that you must do in order for your book to be successful. And I'm going to allow life to guide me. So my big plan is to let God more and trust, and I do, that on my birthday, my next step is going to be clear. That's it. I'm going to be back with you tomorrow on launch day. So this is my book. If you're interested, it's available on Amazon. I would love it if you want to buy it tomorrow on the 15th, so that more people buy it on the same day. That's all I will say about it today. I'll talk about what the book is actually more about tomorrow on launch day. And this is it for me today. Bye. Sorry it was a little long. Rambling, not a clear brain. It is what it is. I love you. Thank you again for all your love yesterday. It was most precious. It was an incredible gift. Something I've never experienced in my life. So thank you. I love you.